Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Nikki the Bombshell Biker and welcome back to Halloweek Day 2. Today we are doing some arts and crafts because some of you may have seen on my Instagram that arts and crafts are my love language. I really love to do arts and crafts with my kiddos. I like to do them by myself. Any excuse to make arts and crafts is a good excuse for me. So today we are actually going to make one that was in my Instagram post. We are going to make this really cute little ghost barrette that I made for my coworkers at my job. And so I made them. They actually have been a huge hit with my coworkers and with our customers. And I had a couple customers, and they're like, "Where did you buy those? I need them." And I was like, "Oh, like I actually made them." And she's like, "I will order them." And I said, "No, you will not, because you're gonna find somebody else, because I'm not about to be responsible for somebody else's millions of bows," or what. I'm being dramatic, but just no, hard pass. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit closer here, and I'm just gonna show you exactly what we're making. So this cute little girl ghost, she's got some googly eyes made with some ribbons and also a barrette in the back so that you can stick it in your hair. A lot of my coworkers have been wearing them right about here so everyone can see them. You can do it in your hair, whatever floats your goat. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over our list of supplies here first. I'm just gonna put this sweet girl over here. So to start, we have our white ribbon. Let me back it up a little bit here. This is a 5/8 inch ribbon. This was a cheapy one I got at Michael's. I grabbed a bunch of them. I think they were like $4 or $5 a piece. So there's that ribbon. I got a sparkly white one just because I like the sparkles. I'm a girl. I like the girly things sometimes. The other ribbon we're gonna need is a nice small ribbon. This one is only 3/6 of an inch, and it's cute. I felt like it would be a really cute little bow for the ghost, and I just thought it would be like a nice little feminine touch to have. The other things we'll need, of course, are googly eyes. So I ended up going with a little bit bigger googly eyes for this time around just because I liked them a little bit more, and I felt like they could have bumped up a little bit. I'll also need a Bic lighter, the barrette to put in your hair, a pair of scissors, a fork. It'll come into play. If you're a crafter, you know exactly where this fork is going to come in. If you're a dude that has no idea, prepare to be amazed. All right, and last but not least, you'll need a glue gun. I love my little glue gun. I actually really need to get a bigger one. So a glue gun helps. That's what keeps this whole thing together. So what we're going to start by doing, we are going to start by making the little pieces that are on the bottom of the ghost, the body of the ghost. So what I have here, I have 4 separate pieces. I'm actually going to use this one as a guide for how long I need the ribbons to be. So I'm going to grab my white ribbon, and I'm going to hold it up right next to the original ghost. So I'm going to layer it just on the top into there. And what I'll do, using that as a guide, just cut right through. Well, maybe not right through. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to put her back to the side again. And we'll just use this as a guide for the rest of our ribbon cutting. So like I said, I need 4 pieces of ribbon to start. Now originally the ghost I had found that was made of ribbons looked a little bit different, and I think that's all fun and dandy, but I also think that if you're gonna make something, you should make it your own in some way or another. So changed it up a little bit, the shape. This is just how I decided to do it. All right, so here I have just 3 because I can't count. Woo! All right, one more piece here. Been a long day, and this whole one video a day for 4 days is gonna catch up real quick. All right, so here I have my 4 pieces of ribbon. I am actually going to just put these in front of myself now. So what I have here on this one is I have this really cute round shape, and most importantly, I have one that goes between the tongs of the barrette. And that's really important. A, it keeps it structurally sound on there. B, it keeps it all from snagging on your hair. So we are going to start with the most important ribbon today, which is the one that goes onto the barrette. So what I'm going to do, always remember, if you have fabric that has two separate sides, that you use the side that you want to. I like to work forward facing, meaning that I like to see what I'm going to have the final product look like. So what I'm going to do, and it's really simple, I'm just going to clip that right on there. So I know about where I need to be. So now that I can see what I need to do and I see where I need to glue it, I'm just going to pull that off. Bring in my handy dandy glue gun. Now this has been turned on for a while, so glue guns take a minute to heat up, just in case you weren't aware. So what we're gonna do, how did I do this last time? All right. So I am going to just put a little bit of hot glue down. Be careful of your fingers. It's called hot glue for a reason. And I'm just gonna crimp that down right on there. Ta-da! Not too crazy so far, right? So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put that one down so I can take a look at it and see it. And then I'm gonna layer the other pieces around it to give it the flare out that this one has. Give it a nice little big body. So again, I'm gonna work forward facing because that's the way I want my ribbon to look, that nice shiny side up. So I'm just going to build right on top of this first piece and not drop my glue gun on the floor. So I also, while I'm here, try and kind of give it that shape that it had. So just lightly pressing down, again, trying to not burn your fingers. And I'm also trying to cover up this barrette on the inside too, because that'll make it look a little more clean. On the side is okay to have that little piece. I don't think that's a huge deal, to me at least, but if it is, I'm going to show you how we can cover that as well with that fourth final piece. So again, just going to place that right on top. Not burn my fingers. Alright, so I have 3 pieces there. That's a pretty decent ghost. But if it was really important to me to cover that, I could just layer it right on top like that. It's really not that important to me, and I don't mind it. So what I'm going to do probably is do it right there. Make it a little wider. So I'm going to add a little more glue here. And then press it, flare it out, and press it down. Again, being very careful of my fingies. Alright, so there, oh, and I glued it to the bottom. Ta-da! Arts and crafts with Bombshell. Always exciting. I mean, this is fine. It's fine, it's fine. So, what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna take a look and see they all look similar lengths. Do we like it? Awesome. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to give it these little points that this one has. But what I'm going to do that I didn't do on this one is I'm actually going to finish off those edges. So I'm going to start by cutting the bottom. So all I need to do for this is take my scissors and cut out a little V on the bottom. This part gets a little messy because of the type of ribbon I grabbed. I don't know about other ribbons really. This was, again, just, I thought it was cute. I like the little blues and the greens in the background. But there you go, little point, super easy. So again, I'm gonna push that one to the side. And just make little V cuts. The tips of your scissors, if they're old, don't want to cooperate. So if you go back a bit, because a lot of people tend to use the front of the scissors, they tend to be a little bit sharper. So what I'll do for this one to start, make it a little easier on myself, is just start towards the back. Okay, and again, little string's not a huge deal. Making mess with Bombshell. Okay. Almost done. Couple more cuts. So in yesterday's video, I talked about my mom making costumes And my mom was also a big arts and crafts kind of person. Obviously, she did stained glass, and that was how she made a living for a while. And so this is actually one of the few things I'm actually pretty good at. I also can crochet, as you guys saw from my Christmas present video from last year, that I love to crochet, but I run really hot, like temperature wise, and so I tend to only be able to do it when it cools down. All right, so the top's looking a little ratchet too, so I'm just going to trim that down a little bit to give it that shape, kind of clean it up a little. And then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take my big lighter and I'm going to burn it. Ha ha ha, burn it down. Just kidding. I'm actually just going to clean up the edges a little bit. So, mad, little SKS girl, get mom and dad's help first, okay? Do not play with lighters on your own. Iron cross, get your wife. I don't trust you with a lighter. Love you. I know you. All right, so let's go ahead, turn on the lighter, and just very lightly, because I have the fan on. Oops. So that's why you go a little lighter. Ooh, hot. Also, don't burn your fingers. So I held that one on a little too long, so we're gonna see if we can do a little better. Does not help that the fan is blowing this all over the place. So just kind of dab dab at it, and then it has a nice finished edge and no more little flyaways. A couple more times. There we go. Last one on the bottom. All right. So now the bottom of our ghost, nice and finished off, a little burnt in a couple places. Did not factor the fan being on when I lit up a lighter. It's fine, no big deal. All right, so now we're gonna do the same thing on the top. So again, I'm just gonna follow along the fabric. And if you need to turn it off and on, that's totally fine too. I just wanna make sure that all of those unfinished edges get burnt. Alrighty. So for now, body of our ghost, totally done. It opens and closes, which is important for a hair clip, because if it stays closed, you cannot clip it. So I'm going to put this to the side for just a moment. Excuse the mess over here. Alright, get those guys. That didn't help. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I've already pre-cut some of this really pretty orange ribbon with the cute little design on the side. About this length. I would want to say maybe 4 or 5 inches. Maybe. That's not 5 inches. 3 or 4 inches. I don't know. Inches. I don't know. But anyways, so now we're going to make this teeny tiny bow. Now, if you're one of those really dexterous people that can just tie something that small, you don't need this step. Very impressed by you. I am not. I'm very clumsy, and I'm all thumbs most days. So, I need a dingle hopper. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take this fork, and I'm just gonna lay it down. I'm gonna take this ribbon. Since this ribbon is shiny on both sides, it doesn't matter what side I put it down on. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna tilt this a bit. We're gonna lay it over the fork in a V. So just like that. Then I'm gonna bring the front one down a little. I bring that back one up. You want your back ribbon to be a little bit longer than the front ribbon. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna take this back one and we're gonna right into the middle of this fork. So bring it up the back. All right, and try and make sure this front ribbon stays pointed nice and down. So I'm gonna pull it nice and tight. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this up the center of the fork and leave a little bit of a loop there. So now we're gonna tie it off and create the actual bow. So taking this front part of the ribbon, we're gonna loop through, loop, swoop, and pull, y'all. That's also a funny question. How do you guys like tie your shoes? And I only ask when I do this kind of things because when I was trying to teach our youngest daughter, well, we've been working on it with her. She's doing much better now. It was a while ago. And just pull it nice and tight. Keep this 2 strings down towards the bottom to keep that V bow shape. So when we were teaching her, Dad was trying to teach her bunny ears. Dad being the beard. And I am a loop, swoop, and pull. I cannot tie things bunny ears to save my life. I never learned how to do it properly, I guess. I don't know. It always falls apart. It's a mess. It's very frustrating. I remember my dad getting me ready for school one morning, and I was in the process of learning how to tie my shoes. And so I went to go and like tie my shoes, and my dad's like, "Okay, like here we go. Okay, so you tie the knot. All right, got that part. Yeah, great. All right. Now you grab the bunny ears." I dropped the camera. You grab the bunny ears and you pull I don't know what you do. You do something with bunny ears that I'm going to be 29 next week and I still don't know what to do with them. But anyways, full on meltdown because we had been at this for like, I'm probably exaggerating. I was also very young, but like 5-6 minutes. And I just was crying and I can't tie my shoes and I know I can tie my shoes and Mommy helps me tie my shoes, and my mom was at work and my dad was just trying to get me ready and we were already late and it was a whole ordeal. So he had to call my mom at work because I'm in hysterics at this point. I'm inconsolable because I can't tie my shoes and I know how to tie my shoes. And so calls my mom and he puts me on the phone. Back in the day, we had to go into the kitchen because my phone was attached to the wall in the kitchen. Crazy, I know. And so he got on the phone and, "Mom," and she says, "Mija, you know how to tie your shoes. But Daddy said bunny ears, and I don't know how to bunny ears, Mom, and now I don't know how to tie my shoes." And so she's like, "Mija, we loop, swoop, and pull, right?" So for those of you that don't loop, swoop, and pull and can do the mystical bunny ears, you do a loop, you swoop the other one around, and you pull it through the little hole that the bunny makes. So when trying to teach our youngest daughter to tie her own shoes, I guess brother and sister do bunny ears. Her and I are loop, swoop, and pullers. So everyone's trying to tell her bunny ear, bunny ear, bunny ear, and she says, "Nikki, I don't know how to do the bunny ears." And I was like, "Baby, I don't know how to do the bunny ears either, but I can teach you loop, swoop, and pull." And she kind of looked at me and I was like, "Well, let's sit down and like let's do it together." And so we looped, we swooped, we pulled a couple times and she had it, but also like getting everything in there, and it was a process. But she had the basics down. It was a very awesome parenting moment. She's doing much better now, rest assured. She's doing great. Tying her shoes. Or we just get her Velcro. Whatever, that's fine. But anyway, so back to the arts and crafts. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give this one more tight tug, make sure it's nice and snug on there. And then I'm going to slide it up and rearrange my bow a little. So I'm just going to pull this down, keeping that bow shape. But I would like to show you, after I make some adjustments here, not too shabby, right? Cute little bow. Cute enough for a little ghost. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pull again, this a little bit snugger. Oh, I pulled it too tight. Again, nice thing. You can always fix it. You can always make adjustments. Or you can start over. I prefer to not, but that's an option. Alrighty. So what we're going to do now, I'm actually going to snip this down a little, because though she would be super sassy with a nice long tail on her bow, not necessary. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut in at an angle. Oops, didn't cut all the way through because I need to sharpen my scissors apparently. There we go. And then I'm going to hold it down, because sometimes it's not a great way to do that, but especially because I'm not super great at this, but I mean, I'm not too shabby. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to bring our little ghost back in, bring my hot glue gun out, and we're going to put that big dollop of glue on there, and then very carefully I'm going to place the bow on top of the glue without burning my fingers. Oh snap. Alright, so little Miss Sassy Ghost has her bow. I think all a little messed up in transit, that's okay. No bigs. So now we've got a ghost. She's got a bow. But if any of you have seen Beetlejuice, you know you need eye holes to see. And Delia, your mother's going to be very mad that you ruined her very expensive sheets. That was literally just for Iron Cross. Sorry. So what we're going to do, I'm going to open up my googly eyes. The moment we've all been waiting for. Everyone loves googly eyes. My girlfriend told me about a time she was house sitting for a friend of hers, a coworker, and she had gone away for like a week or something, and so my friend went over to check on her dogs and check on the house and all that fun stuff. And so when her friend arrived home after her trip, she came home to find googly eyes on everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. She had found cans of soup that had been sitting in the back for God only knows how long of the pantry. I'm kind of staticky, so these won't stick to me. And she also, I guess, had like a mounted head over her, not like a human head, let's clarify, a mounted like deer head or something. And she had found giant googly eyes and put giant googly eyes on the deer head, and then also found giant sunglasses. So she put the giant sunglasses on top of the googly eyes. So her friend that came home was like, oh, sunglasses, haha, and then was greeted by giant googly eyes. She's one of my very best friends. She's going to be a bridesmaid at my wedding. These are my people, in case you were curious as to what that's like. So what we're going to do now, I have grabbed my 2 googly eyes. I'm going to put some dots of glue down. So the way I did the original one, again, these eyes are a little bit smaller, but I did them kind of close together and a little bit below that bow. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a very similar thing. I'm going to actually join these 2 pieces of ribbon together with these googly eyes. So I'm going to do 2 dots. There's no point in just doing one and then coming back. So we've got our first googly eye. Oh yeah. And our second googly eye. Kind of move them around. And that, boys and girls, is really it. Like, super simple, super cute. I could totally see Dad wearing, or Dad, Dad of Dad and Mad. Mad of Dad and Mad, or a little Miss KS girl wearing them. I gave them to my daughters. I gave them to all of my female coworkers, and some of my male coworkers also said they needed some little ghosts. Thankfully, I had made extras, so they also got little sassy ghosts too. So I hope you guys have enjoyed Halloweek Day 2. Super simple, nothing too crazy. If you want to add a little bit of Halloween flair, if you can't go in full costume to work and you just want to have a little Halloween buddy with you and this is acceptable, super cute, super easy, super cheap to make, especially if you already have any ribbon lying around the house. You can dress her up with other like kinds of ribbon if you wanted to add other colors in the pattern. It doesn't have to be all white. You can sass her up a little bit more, or even a different fabric for the bow, whatever you want to do, totally up to you. So I am going to call it there today. Thank you again for joining me for Halloweek Day 2. We will see you again for tomorrow, Halloweek Day 3, just a couple more days till Halloween, and I'm so glad you're here to join me. So again, as always, stay safe, stay sassy, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye guys.